Okay, so President Trump recently is getting ready to sign an executive order permitting colleges and universities from trampling over free speech of conservative students. If so, they will lose their federally funded grants that go to these colleges for research and for other things. Now, the issue is with conservatives on college campuses and universities across the country is that they're being targeted, being bullied, being shut down. They're not allowed to speak. There's been assaults. There was a guy, his last name is Williams. I can't remember his first name. I think he was with Turning Point USA. He was out there speaking, and he was assaulted. It was all caught on camera. Now the person who assaulted him was eventually arrested and charged with it. Also, 2016, Milo was in UC Berkeley. They started a riot and almost burned the place down. People were assaulted. Ben Shapiro, a year later, came to the very same university, and they had to turn the place into a military zone just to keep him and everyone else safe so he can come there and speak. And we're talking about Ben Shapiro. He's just a regular-ass conservative, just like me, just like anyone else. Like, there's nothing special about him that you had to go to that extent. Like, the students were so aggravated, so upset that Ben Shapiro came to speak that they're ready to cause violence. We had to turn the place. They had to turn the place to a military zone just to keep them safe. It's like, this is insane. And before that, it was supposed to be Ann Coulter that was going to come down and speak at UC Berkeley, and they prevented that from happening. They made her jump through so many hurdles that she said, F it, I'm not coming. So, this is what they do. So Trump is signing an executive order preventing them from doing so, saying that he's going to pull their federal funding if they try to prevent free speech against anyone for that matter. And it's good Trump. You know what I mean? It's definitely definitely a good thing to do. I've been saying this for a long time, that these universities should lose their federal funding. We should just pull funding from them and say, you're not going to get money this year, until you get your act together. Like, obviously there's a bias towards conservatives, and not only is there a bias towards conservatives, but the universities and colleges are not doing anything to even anything to cure the matter, and they're allowing people on the left to just go completely overboard and do whatever it is they want to do. I mean, the left will riot on campus. The left will do anything. Look what happened at Evergreen College, and then recently in that other college, or whatever the hell it's called, there was another situation where there was like 1,000 different demands, and one of the demands was like free laundry detergent or something like that for like people of color. It was like for students of color. It was like just some ridiculous stuff, and they're just allowed to run rampant, and nothing is done about that. So, I think it's good that we pull the funding from them and say, if you don't get your act together, we're pulling the funding from you. F these universities and colleges, let them shut down for all I care. They shouldn't get any kind of funding anyway if you're going to shut down free speech of students. Some of these colleges you go to, they have a free speech zone, which is just insane, because this is the United States of America. Free speech zone is anywhere that's U.S. soil, from coast to coast. There is no such thing as a free speech zone. This is the zone you're allowed to have free speech, and this is the zone that you're not allowed to have free speech. That just doesn't make sense. That's unconstitutional. So, but they twist things around and they say, well, if you're going to stand there and talk to people as they walk by, it's a form of protest, or it's a form of something, and you're not allowed to do this on this campus. So they have a way around it, to make it technical so they can be right in that matter and tell you have to go to the other side of campus to that little circle on the ground. That's the free speech zone. Free speech zone. You go all the way on that side of the campus. It's like there's no need to even be there. No one's even there. You'll be there by yourself. There's no need to be there. No one goes there. It's like the back of the campus. You know what I mean? It's like, you're hanging out next to the dumpster or something, behind a loading dock or something on the campus. And it's like there is no, but who's there? Like Ned, the porter is there, like, sweeping up or something. He's the only one that's going to hear you rant about your political, your political issues. So, but this is what they do. So Trump is saying it's all going to come to an end, and we're going to start pulling your federal funding, and I think they should pull it now. I think he should pull it now, and then say, well, now show me why I should give it back to you. I don't think he should just threaten him and say, if this does happen, we will pull it. I think he should pull it right now. Pull it now and say, we're going to take it from you, we're going to hold it, you're going to get your shit together, and you're going to prove to us that we can give it back. You're going to prove that we should give it back to you. Until then, we're going to keep it, and you're not going to get it. And that's it, plain and simple. I mean, they do this with, what is it, the red flag law or something in Baltimore, where if you make it's like a new law, if you make a phone call, somebody was just shot and killed over this, or the cops shot someone, you make a phone call to the police and you say that somebody who has a gun, or it could be a legal gun owner, right, and they're not, there's a danger with them, either with themselves or with the public, and they have a gun, and the cops will show up and take the gun from the person, and then the person will have to go through all the steps to prove that everything is, everything checks out for for him or her to get the gun back. In many cases, they probably won't get the gun back because a report was made, and now you go on, you're on that list, and we don't trust to give it back to you. So, it works against people who has a gun, and maybe they have an enemy, maybe they have a neighbor who hates them, or a family member hates them, ex-wife, ex-husband, whatever, and they want to get you in trouble. They make the phone call, and that's it. Cause you to lose your gun rights just because they want to be a prick towards you. But this is the universities we're talking about. We have way more enough evidence to prove that these universities have been grossly irresponsible when it comes to all the social issues. So maybe we should do the same thing. Just like you make the phone call, they come, they take the gun. Now you have to prove why we should give it back to you. We should just pull the funding and tell them, prove to us why we should show you or give you the money back. Show us why you deserve to have this grant money given back to you. I say put the universities and education into the private hands and let private people and private corporations and stuff like that donate all the money that they want to donate. A few things would happen. I mean, if we pull the federal funding, I would go as far as saying also federally backed student loans should be pulled too. So these students won't be able to get a federal loan to go to these colleges. And really, squeeze the neck of these universities. A few things will happen. They'll be forced to get their act together. Two, it might cut down the amount of shitty students that are showing up there to learn how to get a degree in activism. And three, it's going to drive down the cost of tuition because now they're not guaranteed money from the government, every time somebody signs their name on the enrollment sheet. So, it would actually help us out. If some of the universities closes up, oh, well, let them close up. We don't need them anyway. Let the faculty there, let the professors and everything, let them go out into the real world and get a real job and see what it's like to be a real person and not live in an ivory tower somewhere with superpowers of tenure looking down at all his subjects who will never be as great as he is because, he got a Marxist education. So, that's probably the best thing to do. So I'm all on board with Trump. I would go one step further, though, and I would pull the funding. I would want to pull the funding right now. I would pull all fundings. I would make sure the federal government invest zero into every single college and university across the board, and then say, listen, now the students are left to go to a private university and pay for it on their own, or they would have to go to a state-run university. Like here, we have CUNY, a city university in New York. We have SUNY, State University in New York, that's funded by the state and not the feds. So go to a state university or go to a private and figure out how to pay. Somehow, but it's not going to be from the federal government. Federal government's just going to cut that and say you're not getting any grant money from us, and that's it. Get a job and pay for your own college. I mean, let's be real. These students are going to like Harvard University, right? And it's they step out of Harvard with a bachelor's degree, and they're like $200,000 in debt, and it's like, oh, that sucks. What kind of degree did you get? And it's like, oh, I got a degree in gender studies or lesbian dance theory or something like that. Oh, I have a sociology degree, and it's like, oh, great. So you pretty much got a degree in activism, and it costs you $200,000. Your degree is not even marketable at this point. You can't, there's no resale value on your degree, and now you're in debt. Like, this was just, you should have took economics, is really what you should have done. You should have studied economics, maybe even at a community college for cheaper. Then you could have gone to a state college, and you would have came out probably a lot smarter, except for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She supposedly has an economics degree from Boston University, so I guess maybe don't study economics. She actually came out of college stupider than when she went in. She should sue Boston University, but then again, Boston University should sue her and say, please stop saying you came here. Don't tell anyone you went to this college. So maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe skipping school altogether is the best bet best bet for you is just not go to college. I'm in college now. I mean, I'm there because I want to accomplish something I never got to accomplish, and I wanted to get education and I want to put some plaques on the wall with certificates, whatever, degrees with my name on it, and then of course I'd like to switch jobs sometime in the future. So maybe that would be pretty helpful, right? But at least I'm not a brain dead zombie that's going to go there and just be completely indoctrinated into the liberal lunatics way of life. So it's a little different. When I graduate, I'm gonna have on my cap, it's gonna say, I'm the slogan, I made it through college without becoming a liberal or something like that, and that's it. So that's all I have for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and peace out.